Hi, my name is Nanette Brown, and today we're going to talk about the biggest mistakes homeschoolers make. And I think some of these are going to hopefully not be mistakes you're making. All right, let's get right into it. The first mistake homeschoolers make is comparison. Comparing your family to another family, or comparing yourself to another mom, or comparing your children to other children. Stop doing this now. It is fruitless. It is not wise. It is not good. The solution here is to accept yourself and accept your children, accept your family, and let God use you. Let God do what He wants to do in your family. I remember when I started homeschooling, I used to do this so much. I would look at every family and be like, oh, they're so godly. Oh, their kids are so smart. Oh, everybody's so great and we're so low, until I became a homeschool director, and all the people that I looked up to, almost idolizing, like they were so perfect, when I started to talk to them, I realized, oh my goodness, they're just like us. They have problems too. Their kids don't listen all the time. They have challenges in their marriage. And I realized that was such a trick of the enemy that I was falling into. So if you are comparing yourself, your kids, your family, whatever, to others, stop now. It's a waste of time. Second big mistake that homeschoolers make is isolation. Oh my goodness. I see this all the time. If you want to ensure that your children resent you or resent homeschooling, isolate yourself. Just keep it between you and your kids, and that's it. That type of homeschooling typically doesn't last very long. We need each other. Going it alone is not the wisest way. Parents, mom, you need to be around other moms. Your children need to be around other children. My solution for this is find a homeschool community in your area, a co-op, a support group that does field trips, a classical conversations community. There are so many homeschool communities out there, and if you're unsure, I would advise you go to HSLDA and look up groups. They have all the Christian homeschool groups that have registered with them. You can find the closest one in your area, or you can just go and look it on the internet. I'm not going to say Google it. I'll say DuckDuckGo it, or look it up on the internet, and you'll find you probably have homeschool groups and co-ops in your area that you might not even be aware of. But do not isolate yourself and your children. Community is very important in doing homeschool well. All right. The third biggest mistake I see people making, and by the way, I got a lot of feedback from very, very wise veteran homeschoolers on this one. And the third one I would say is overcommitting yourself or overcommitting your children. That's where we say yes to so many things. Maybe saying yes without praying about it. That's when we are constantly out of the house, constantly doing things when we're home to do homeschooling, and we're too busy because we've committed to all these different things. What I found is that homeschoolers tend to be quite capable people. And so people want them to volunteer for this and that and serve in this and that. But guess what? What ends up happening is we end up overcommitting, ends up stressing us out, taking the joy out of homeschool because we're so busy. The solution for this is protecting your time, praying before saying yes to things, praying before signing your kids up for things. I remember one year my husband told me, when I wanted to sign the kids up for this and that and this and that. And he said, nope, we're only going to sign up for 2 things, 2 different things. That's it. And I was so devastated because I wanted them to be in dance and this and that. And my husband said, no, that's too much. And also for bigger families, a thing you can do is, if you have kids close in age, sign them up for things that they can do together. So we did piano lessons together. 2 of my kids, actually at one point 3 of my kids did it together, 1.2 of my kids together. We did cross country. So we went to practice together. All 4 of my children, which are pretty much like either a year to 2 years apart, did cross country together. Currently, my boys, who are a year from each other, they do jiu-jitsu together. So we try to group them together in activities so we're not going here and there more than we have to. All right, the next big mistake that homeschoolers make, I would say, is having simply no structure whatsoever. So this is going to look different for every family. There is no right way, there is no wrong way, but I can say this: kids do thrive on some sort of structure or routine or schedule. There needs to be some sort of something in line for your home so that people can't just call you all the time, or you're not just running out all the time, but there's some sort of routine or schedule or structure. And this is really important. The solution for this is just being diligent and intentional about time management for your home. It can be, we go here between this time and this time, but these set hours we homeschool. When you have younger children, you have the liberty to be more free. This really applies to when you have older children. When you have older children, junior high, high school level, the workload tends to be much, much more. Hence, time management is necessary. All right, the next big mistake, and I've heard this from several parents, several veteran homeschool parents, is overthinking your curriculum, your daily decisions. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by being so terrified that you're going to make the wrong choice with the curriculum that it's going to ruin your child. Make research and then make your decision and then stick with it. Okay? Research, make a decision, and stick with it. It will not ruin your child if they did not like the math curriculum. It wasn't the best, didn't fit them perfectly. It's not going to kill them. How do we respond? Sometimes I have a good friend. Her student begged and begged and begged, I want to do guitar. They started guitar, ended up hating guitar, wanted to quit guitar, but they decided, we're not going to quit. We're going to finish out I think it was like our 6-week commitment. And then at the end of the 6 weeks, we're going to reevaluate whether we want to continue with it or end it. And so sometimes you just got to stick with it. And you might be in a situation where you pray about it and you do need to let it go and change and pivot. And if that be the case, that's perfectly fine. But God is there and He's going to honor your commitments and you do your best. But picking the wrong curriculum or picking a curriculum that you guys don't love is not going to make or break your school year or your homeschool. Another story, I remember when earlier on in my homeschool, I heard about a lady in our co-op who was dealing with cancer. That entire year during her treatment, she was unable to homeschool her 2 children. Her husband worked as an engineer and he worked long hours, so he couldn't do it. But she laid out the curriculum for her kids. The kids just did the best that they could. At the end of the year, they did some voluntary school testing. And when her kids tested, they tested so well. And she was so shocked because she did not teach them anything that whole year. And my point is not that we shouldn't be teaching our kids, but God will fill in the gaps. Sometimes situations happen, life happens. You are going to be okay, and God will fill in the gaps. He will lead and guide you in the way you are to go. And my last big mistake that I believe homeschoolers make, and that is giving away their authority. Giving away their authority. Now, what do you mean by giving away your authority? What is that? What is that? That is when you, as a free homeschooler, put yourself under a homeschool program that tells you you can't write about God, or your children can't talk about the Lord. That may not be happening to you, hopefully not, but I see it time and time again where people pull their kids out of school and then give their authority, sign up for something that doesn't necessarily adhere to their own beliefs, and they tell them what they can and can't do. I have absolutely no problem with signing up for a cover school. That is a decision that every family needs to prayerfully make for themselves. But be careful about giving away your power. If God has called you to homeschool your children, He's given you that authority to say, this is what I want my kids to learn. And if there is someone contradicting your faith or your beliefs, take back your authority. You don't have to stay there. You don't. But anyways, that is my list of biggest homeschool mistakes that parents make, that homeschoolers make. Hope you enjoyed it. If there was something I didn't mention, can you put it in the comments below? I would love to hear what the biggest mistakes you think homeschoolers make. And I would love it if you enjoyed this video, press the like button and subscribe for more. And I hope to see you in the next one.